They did it! They actually did it. Arkham Knight has been patched on Nintendo Switch. And it plays... What is happening, Internet? Kwing here, one of the co-hosts of Kwingsletsplays, and today we're discussing the Arkham Knight patch for Nintendo Switch. That was 16 gigabytes! Yeah. 16 gigabytes, turn me up games. Which took a total of 5 hours to download, because Switch is very, very slow when it comes to downloading, and then it took 3 hours to install said update. So, I was actually planning on streaming this last night, but now I have to wait until later today. But guess what? I did some digging on the internet, and I know what actually this update does. Some of it. So let's get into this. Originally, when this game released, Arkham Knight was, let's not say unplayable. Arkham Knight was a buggy, glitchy mess of spaghetti that, while you could go through and play it, and some crazy people like myself did, in fact, almost beat it because I wasn't able to activate the Knightfall Protocol, and then I tried to do challenge maps over the past 2 months, and well, we found all kinds of fun glitches with the challenge maps, namely not actually recording my progress when I actually won my stars. So that was fun, especially when I did something impossible and the game did not reward me with my stars. Even though they gave me my stars, they then took it away when it needed to count the most. So that was annoying. You know, all the sputtering and the flying and the frame drops and things like that. I mean, that was to be expected. But the biggest problem that people had with Arkham Knight was the fact you couldn't activate the Knightfall Protocol. Now, I'm not speaking from experience, but I believe you can activate the Knightfall Protocol now. I've heard firsthand from a couple users, as well as some press friends, and some people that are still playing the Nintendo Switch version of this game. Why, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of other great games that you could be playing on the Nintendo Switch, like Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City, and maybe trying to petition for Arkham Origins, but Arkham Knight is not that game that you want to play on Nintendo Switch, because it's just a mess. And, I mean, it's a much better game on other consoles that can actually, you know, run the game. And even with this update, well, I wouldn't even say it's the most amazing update there is. But it was updated, so we can at least stop saying that Turn Me Up Games will never update the Nintendo Switch version of Arkham Knight, because it was an undertaking that took them about 2.5 months, but they did do it. So I think that, you know, props are due for what they did. But I haven't actually tried it out firsthand because I'm waiting to do that later tonight. But since I'm lazy and this is the only time I have to do this update video, let's go over what the changes are, supposedly. Now, one of the major changes is that the game doesn't sputter quite as much when you drive the Batmobile, which that is an insane feat for the Nintendo Switch. Now, playing it on other consoles, the Batmobile is smooth as butter. The tank missions are no problem, and it just comes down to getting used to how to drive the Tankmobile all over again. But Nintendo Switch, well, you've seen what the gameplay on my channel was like playing the Batmobile. You'd be lucky if you didn't actually slam into the side of a wall or end up veering off a cliff and have to, you know, pull yourself back up. In fact, doing the cloudburst section was super annoying. I did get through it, but it was something that I never want to do ever again. In fact, some people were even saying, hey, Kwing, now that the game has been patched, are you going to go through and play the game on New Game Plus? No, never. Not on Nintendo Switch. Why ever would I do that? In fact, when I'm done with tonight's live stream, I am erasing the game off my Nintendo Switch because it is now close or comparable to the size of what Breath of the Wild was after all its DLC. Because remember, it was like 33 gig or whatever to get Arkham Knight on the Switch to begin with, and now you've got to add, like, I think it's either a 16 or 19 gigabyte update onto that, so that made the game even bigger, and it still doesn't play as well as, like, one of the bigger gigabyte eaters like the Zelda games on the Switch. So, while Turn Me Up tried, they still didn't really succeed in making the game very, we'll say, smooth. Now, they did some new improvements. The Riddler trophies can be collected now. So the bug trophies that you remember inside of the train car, or whatever you want to call it, it's like 4 in the morning. I don't really care how I talk, so just deal with it. But it's like one of those things that's like on a monorail, and it had like the Riddler trophy behind an invisible wall. I've shown you it numerous times. I've raged over it. Yeah, you can get that now. And the infamous elevator that has Batman floating in midair on this invisible block, you can also pick up that Riddler trophy. So what does that mean? Well, that means, boys and girls, that now you can actually go and take down the Riddler and activate the Knightfall Protocol. So if you've been waiting to, you know, pound the Riddler into submission for all his annoying chatter that you've had to subject yourself to because there's no way of shutting him up in the Switch version, now you can shut him up, you can activate the Knightfall Protocol, and then if you want to try New Game Plus, by all means you can do that. But I would think you should probably not, because I mean, while the game has improved a little bit, you're still going to run into problems. In fact, I don't even know if all the challenge missions things have been fixed. And since it's really difficult to get all 3 stars on some of those more annoying, like, don't touch me type missions, or, you know, use the grapple thing to hit people in multiple different directions, yeah, it's not something I want to attempt again. So I can't tell you, you know, from hands-on with the new update, if the challenge maps have been fixed or not. There is some new pauses that happen in the game that I've heard from numerous people that say when they're playing the game now, to act as kind of like a mini loading screen to help with, like, you know, smoother frame rates, is the game will pause itself a little bit when you're coming into a new area. Now remember, Arkham Knight has no, like, loading screens outside of, like, when you die, and it does that, you know, villain come up and taunt you, and then it loads into the game. For the most part, it was supposed to be a seamless experience on the other consoles, which for the most part it was. But the Switch, it wasn't. It was a sputtery mess. So how they fixed that to try to make it so it works is there's going to be a brief pause sometimes when you're either gliding or riding in the Batmobile, and then it's going to load up the game so that you'll have smoother gameplay with the Batmobile. Now what this does for the challenge maps, I don't know. Because even though the challenge maps were in self-contained areas for, you know, both Predator and Combat, we all know that they were sputtery messes with super floatiness, and the characters were kind of very slow as well. So I don't know if they've sped that up, and if the, you know, massive gigabyte update was just for the, we'll say, main area of the game, and both the tank missions and the challenge maps are still buggy. We don't know. And if there is any other problems, it's going to take them probably another 2 months to give us another patch, if they're even going to. So, I mean, I guess we should be happy that they patch it to begin with. So, if people have been waiting to actually do the Knightfall Protocol, well, you can thank your lucky stars and go and take care of that now, because it's all working, supposedly. And if I'm a bold-faced liar, I guess I will be proven wrong later tonight when I stream this. And if it doesn't work, well, I'm going to look pretty sheepish, aren't I? So, for me and my own sanity, I hope it works too, because I really need to get this game off my Switch, because there's a lot of games coming out in March that I really want to play, and I don't have the room for it with basically this big gigabyte eater. Now, I'll keep Arkham City on my system, but the other one, Arkham Knight, I really feel no reason to. I've had a lot of people ask me, why are you still playing Arkham Knight if they can't even patch it? It's like, well, now that they patched it, should I keep playing it? And it's like, no. If I do any challenge maps again, it'll be Arkham Asylum, so I can play as the Joker and just get some frustrations out. But there's a lot of games coming out that I'm going to be covering, like Final Fantasy this week, and then Princess Peach next month, and I think there's some fighting game DLC for both Tekken and Street Fighter happening relatively soon, so I'll definitely be busy with stuff. But I'm pretty... Can't you tell? I'm pretty stoked that they finally patched the game. I've been emailing them and asking them and talking to so many different people for so long to try to get them to make some headway with it, and never heard back from them. It wasn't like being ghosted. I don't think they ever replied to any of my emails. I did email them, and I did contact them on their Instagram, but I've noticed all their Instagram posts are gone. So maybe I pestered them too much. I don't know. Or maybe people like pestered them too much and they didn't know how to deal with it. So I guess we'll never really know, but at least they did it. So Turn Me Up Games, thank you so much for finally patching Arkham Knight on the Switch. And everyone who wanted to complete the game with the Knightfall Protocol, have at it, and then we all can have a erase the game party together and say adios to Arkham Knight on Nintendo Switch. And who knows, maybe Arkham Knight will play better on the Switch too, if that ever comes out anytime soon. But Nintendo, of course, has fumbled that, just like they fumbled the Nintendo Direct. Although the Nintendo Direct in Japan was pretty awesome. So anyway, guys and gals, now I want to hear from you. Are you happy and thrilled that they fixed the performance and the Batmobile and the cape gliding and, of course, the broken Riddler trophies, and you can finally activate Knightfall Protocol? Or is there still other problems that you have with the Nintendo Switch version of Arkham Knight? Let me know in the comment section below, because apparently Turn Me Up Games watches this channel, so maybe they can use the comment section down there for feedback on any other future problems of the game. If they patch it again, I guess I'll be back and I'll do another update. But I told you guys, rain or shine, that I would do another update when they actually updated it, so I'm a man of my word. And that's all I really have to say. So we'll find out tonight, just how well the game plays, and if everybody's just kind of, coping with the fact that the game is still busted. But I really hope that it does work out, because, it's almost March now, and it took them this long to patch the game. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have some other Nintendo news or video game topic videos that you want to see on this channel, let me know in the comment section below. And I will see you guys live later tonight with Batman Arkham Knight, Knightfall Protocol on Nintendo Switch. Thanks so much for watching. Later, Gothamites. God bless and happy gaming.